Fix Nation, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And of course, welcome back to Trading with a Purpose. And in this particular video, we're going to talk and break down all about session timing, the Asian, London, and New York session. So if you've ever entered into a trade and wondered why price isn't moving, or worse, why is it suddenly reversing against you? You've likely been ignoring session timing. Understanding when to trade is just as important as knowing where to trade. Today, we're going to break down the key characteristics of the three major market sessions: the Asian session, the London, and New York session. Most importantly, how aligning with the session flows can dramatically improve your trading results. So, without further ado guys, let's get this started. Every trading session has its own personality. Some are slow and boring, others are fast and aggressive. If you don't know how each session moves, you'll consistently find yourself trading at the wrong time or chasing price when it's already too late. So let's break down the key characteristics of each session, what types of trades you should look for, and which currency pairs are best suited for each session. So I broke this down into a chart. So the first thing is obviously at the very top, you're going to have your session, your liquidity and volatility, your typical moves, and then best trading pairs. So first up, obviously the Asian session is basically low liquidity and slow moves. The Asian session is the quietest session with low liquidity and slow price movement. Most major institutional players are not yet active, which leads to a lot of consolidation. So obviously when it comes to liquidity and volatility, low liquidity meaning fewer larger orders are in the market. Volatility is generally low, except during major news events from either Japan or Australia. Typical moves for this is essentially going to be a lot of consolidation. The consolidation obviously is the market trends to range, staying within a tight price band, and you're going to have a lot of fake outs. So market makers often push price to one direction before reversing it. The best pairs that generally move around the Asian session, you're going to notice primarily are going to be JPY and AUD NZD pairs. So pairs like USD JPY, Pound JPY, AUD USD, NZD USD, Pound NZD. So anything that has either JPY, AUD, or NZD are the ones that are going to move the most in the actual Asian session. So the Asian session is primarily a setup phase for the day. Smart traders use this time to mark up the key levels, watch for liquidity traps, and wait for the real move in London. That brings us to the London session. The London session is where the real market action starts. This is when banks, hedge funds, large institutions execute their major trades, creating strong trends and breakouts. When it comes to liquidity and volatility, obviously the highest liquidity of any session is going to be during the London session. Volatility increases as institutional traders enter the market. Now, the typical moves that you're going to be finding on the London session, you're going to be talking about breakouts. So the market often breaks out of the Asian session range. And then we're talking about trend continuations. If a strong trend forms in London, it often carries into the New York session. So best pairs to trade obviously are going to be anything with pound, anything with euro. All right, pound USD, euro USD, pound JPY. Again, anything with pound or euro is going to be the best for this particular session. So for example, pound USD, that's going to move very aggressively due to London-based liquidity. Let's say a euro USD, it's also going to have high liquidity as well, strong trend potential, and pound JPY, one of the most volatile pairs in this session. So London is the session where serious traders make their money. If you want clean trends and high liquidity, this is the session to focus on. And now we get to obviously the New York session. So New York session is the second most active session in the entire market, with huge liquidity and sharp reversals. This is when most retail traders enter the market, causing erratic movements. When it comes to liquidity and volatility, so volatile at the open due to high volume institutional orders, and then obviously it slows down after just a few hours as liquidity starts to dry up. Typical moves that we're talking about in the New York session: reversals. If London has trended strongly, New York often reverses the move. Continuations: if momentum remains strong, New York will extend the London trend. So obviously the best pairs to trade in the US session is going to be anything with the USD in it. So we're talking NAS 100, gold, pound USD, euro USD, US 30. All of those pairs are going to be the most active during the US session. Keep in mind that New York is unpredictable. If you're trading this session, you need to be aware of potential reversals and very high to news driven moves. So please keep that in mind. So now let's talk about specifically the Asian session. Many traders make the mistake of trying to force trades during the Asian session. If you've ever entered a trade at night and woken up to see price action hasn't moved, you already know the frustration. So let's go ahead and we'll break down why we avoid trading the Asian session and how to use it to prepare for the real moves that come later. So the Asian session, timing and key focus. The Asian session runs from 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But the most important window is 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is what we call the Asian box. So why does this Asian box matter? Well, the market is setting up the initial high and the initial low of the day. This range will act as a liquidity zone when the London session begins. Price action is slow and ranges tightly, meaning there's very little opportunity for profitable trades. If you're marking your charts, always note the Asian range. This will help you identify key liquidity levels for the next sessions. So why we avoid trading the Asian session? While price does move during Asian hours, most of these moves are designed for liquidity building, not for trend direction. Market makers use this time to set up the real moves that will happen in London and New York. Why is trading the Asian session a mistake? Well, essentially the liquidity is low, meaning spreads are wider and price movement is weak. Breakouts tend to be fake moves that trap early traders. The session lacks momentum, meaning price often moves sideways with no clear trend. So the key thing to remember about this is retail traders chase breakouts in Asian session, while smart traders wait for London to confirm the real move. So typical Asian range and expectations. The average Asian range is typically less than 50 pips, meaning price doesn't move much. However, some currency pairs behave differently. What's normal in the Asian range? Well, most major pairs stay within a 50 pip range, making it difficult to find good setups. Market structure is forming, but price is not yet ready to move. So which pairs are different? We're talking NZD, AUD, and JPY pairs often move more than 50 pips during this session. These currencies are more active because their respective financial markets are actually open during this time. Unless you're trading NZD, AUD, or JPY pairs specifically, expect slow price action with very little follow through during the Asian session. Final rule, do not trade the Asian session. It's pretty simple. The biggest takeaway from this lesson is simple. We do not trade the Asian session. The market is setting up, not trending, and the smartest thing you can do is to wait. What should you do instead? So mark out the Asian session high and low. These levels will be key reference points later. Identify whether price is accumulating, setting up a stop hunt, or preparing for a trend move. Be patient. Wait for London to confirm the direction before placing trades. The Asian session is part of the bigger picture. Use it for market preparation and not execution. So Asian box sets the initial high and initial low of the day. These levels influence price action later. Low volatility means limited trade opportunities. Focus on London session for best setups. Stop hunting is common, so avoid falling into the trap. Remember that successful traders know when not to trade. If you want to win, don't waste your time on slow, low liquidity markets. Wait for the real move and execute with precision in the London session. The London session is the most important trading window in Forex. This is where the biggest institutions place their orders, where market trends begin, and where most professional traders focus their attention. If you understand how London moves, you'll have a massive edge in your trading. So let's break down why London is so powerful and how to trade it, and most importantly, what patterns should you look for. London session timing and importance. When should you trade? The London session runs from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but not all hours are equal. The most important window is from 3 to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is what we call the London box. So why does it matter? Well, it's when big institution orders are executed, creating high liquidity. The high of the day and the low of the day are often set in this window. Most of the day's major price movements originate from this session. If you want to trade London effectively, just focus in on 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is when the market gives you the best opportunities. Why is London the best session to trade? Well, unlike the Asian session, which is slow, London provides the best trading conditions. It has the highest liquidity, cleanest trends, and the most opportunities for professional traders. What makes London so powerful is essentially it's got most liquidity and volatility. Strong price movements, making it easier to capture pips. Breakouts define daily trends. So London determines whether a market trends or reverses. And of course, a better trade execution. High volume means tighter spreads and cleaner price action. London isn't just another session. It's the session where serious traders make their money. Now, trade setups in the London session. If you want to win in London, you need to focus on the right setups. Most traders lose money because they trade the wrong patterns or enter too late. So best trade setups for London. We're talking M&W formations. These setups happen before 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and determine key reversals. Breakout and retest trades. If London breaks a key level, wait for the retest to confirm the trend. Continuation trades. If price trends strongly, look for 50 EMA pullbacks to re-enter. If you see an M&W pattern forming before 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, pay attention. This often is where the market makes its biggest moves. So why the London box matters. So the London box is from 3 to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the most important part of the session. If you don't understand how this box works, you're missing half the game. So why is the London box important? Well, it sets the daily range. The high and low of the day are often created in this window. Stop hunts occur here as well. So market makers manipulate the price before the real trend begins. And it gives you a roadmap. The highs and lows formed here become key reference points. So mark the high and low of this session. It will act as support and resistance later. Watch for false breakouts. London often fakes one direction before moving the other way. If price trends hard in London, expect New York to slow down or reverse. Now the London box is your guide. So if you know how to read it, you'll always be one step ahead of the market. What are the important factors here of the London box? Well, the best trading window is 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. Most common patterns are M and W formations. The high of the day and the low of the day formation. Most major reversals happen before 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And trade smart. If London moves 1.5 times its ADR, expect a slowdown or reversal in New York. Now some final thoughts. 3 to 7 a.m. is your window, the primary window for London. Okay? If you would like to maximize, your ability to catch every possible trading scenario or trading setup, you can change it to an hour before, so 2 to 7. So meaning that the Asian box should be from 8 to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me be clear about this so I don't get 20 million questions about these timings again. All right. The standard default settings. All right. Standard default settings. Asian session is from 8 to 2. London session 3 to 7. Those are your default settings. Okay? If you want to change the settings to maximize, there's going to be times when a patterns happen earlier than 3 a.m. And that's fine. So if you want to catch those specific opportunities, then you need to change it for an hour early. So the London box would be from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. The Asian box would be from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. Okay? If you just want to keep it default, there's nothing wrong with that. All right? But if you want to catch every opportunity, then just change it by an hour. Okay? That's it. There's nothing wrong from 3 to 7, keeping it from 3 to 7 and 8 to 2. Nothing wrong with it at all. All right? All right, so now let's go ahead and break down the U.S. session. Now, U.S. session is one of the most important sessions in Forex, second only to London in terms of volume and price movement. But if you're not trading it correctly, you'll either get caught in fake moves or miss out on the best setups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down when to trade, what setups to look for, and how to use the 50 EMA to time reversals effectively. So US session timing, when should you trade? The entire US session runs from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But the reality is not all hours are equal. The best trading window is from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is essentially what we like to call the US box. Now, why does this US box matter? Well, it overlaps with the London session, creating strong momentum. Major economic news releases occur during this time, driving volatility. Institutional traders place orders at New York Open, leading to high impact moves. If you want to trade the US session effectively, focus on 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is when the real opportunities happen. Now, the US session has the second highest volume in Forex, making it one of the best times to trade. Now, what makes actually the US session unique is a couple things. The first thing is high liquidity. So institutional traders execute large orders. Second thing is news-driven volatility. So US economic data releases cause strong market reactions. And the third thing is London influence. The US session either continues or reverses London's trend. Now, unlike the Asian session, the US session provides real movement. This is a session where you can capitalize on big institutional order flow. So best trade setups in the US session. Now, the US session will focus on two main types of trades: continuation trades and reversals. So continuation trades. If London trends strongly, US will often continue the move. Best strategy for this is wait for a retracement, or essentially a pullback, before entering. Ideal entry is at the pullback of the 50 EMA and a retest of that key level. Now, the second option is reversal trades. If London has overextended past this ADR, US session may reverse. So the best strategy for this: wait for exhaustion, signs, and confirmation before entering. The ideal entry for this is the 50 EMA rejection and divergence. Your job is to determine if the US session is continuing London's trend or reversing it. This decision will dictate your trade setup. Now, the 50 EMA and US session behavior. The 50 EMA is one of the best tools to use in the US session. Why, you may ask? Because most reversal setups pull back to this level before price consolidates. So how to use the 50 EMA in US trading session? Well, there's a couple different ways. The first thing is, if price pulls back to the 50 EMA and rejects it, expect a continuation move. If price sits at the 50 EMA and slows down, expect consolidation. If price breaks the 50 EMA aggressively, a deeper reversal may be starting. Most reversal trades in the US session touch the 50 EMA before consolidating. After 11 a.m. Eastern Time, volume drops and price tends to slow down for the rest of the day. So the 50 EMA is a crucial tool in the US session. Use it to confirm reversals and avoid bad trades. So a couple things. Best trading time is from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The most common setups are continuation and reversals. And some technical confirmations: you can use the 50 EMA to filter either the reversals or trend exhaustion. Remember that trading the US session successfully comes down to knowing whether price will continue or reverse. If you understand session timing, use the 50 EMA properly and wait for confirmation. You'll be able to catch high probability trades with confidence. So let's talk about which session you should trade. It breaks down pretty simple. There's a trader type, there's a best session to trade, and there's why you should trade that session. So for scalpers, if you're a scalper, you should be trading the London session open or the New York session open. Why? Pretty simple. High volatility, fast moves, quick opportunities for profit. If you're a day trader, let's say, you should be trading day traders should be trading the London session and New York open. You have clean trends, strong movements, best for structured trades. Swing traders, you're going to be basically doing London close and New York close. Market structure formations, optimal entries for longer holds. And beginners, London session, you have clear trends, you have defined setups, and lower risk of manipulation. Okay, depending on what type of trader you are, these is when you should actually be trading. All right, so guys, I hope you learned a lot from this particular video. I hope it brought you value. If you want to do me a favor, please like and share the content, and we will see you in the next video.